Meet Margaret, a 68-year-old family woman who has spent her life caring and supporting her family as they grew and experienced the world. Margaret and her husband John built a stable and loving family together, and Margaret was heartbroken when John suddenly passed away some years earlier. Over time, Margaret has relied more and more on her daughter, Susan, to call around to help her out and keep the fridge stocked. The happiness she gets from talking to her family is something that money can never buy. In the last couple of years, Margaret has had health problems due to her arthritis and shortness of breath from repeated chest infections. It has meant her independence has been limited now that she is unable to drive her car to do the local shop or meet with family and friends. She felt she was at an age now where it took too much out of her, and she preferred to stay in, crocheting or watching her big telly she treated herself to. Susan tried to visit at least once a week, but was finding it difficult to keep up now as she got a promotion in work. But luckily, Susan's daughter, Anna, came back from travelling and started visiting her grandmother, which brought a sparkle back to Margaret's life. Margaret adored her granddaughter's bubbly stories of her adventures and plans. She was also able to send Anna out for messages, which Anna was more than happy to do. Anna was a great companion for her grandmother, and she would tell her tales of her travels and her ambition to start a new fashion company, but she just needed to get the bank or someone to support her with a bit of startup money. Margaret was more than happy to help her out. She had great belief in her granddaughter. Anna's visits became less frequent as her business began to take off the ground. Margaret knew she was working hard, and while she missed her terribly, she knew that Anna planned to live nearby, which would mean she gets to see her more often. Margaret didn't really understand the business, but when Anna visited, she just listened to the stories as all grandmothers do. Margaret was confused with her finances and was lucky to have Anna keeping an eye on it for her. Margaret knew Anna was smart, and was so grateful that Anna helped her sell her car and a few other personal belongings that she didn't need anymore, so she could pay for the bills that had been starting to pile up. Margaret was a bit shocked when she got a phone call from Anna announcing that she had a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to go travelling again. Anna thanked her grandmother for everything and rushed off as quickly as she rushed into her grandmother's life, but she promised to send her a postcard of her new adventures. With Anna away, Margaret relied on Susan again to help her around the house. Susan was shocked to see how much her mother had deteriorated since she last saw her, and was concerned to see the amount of bills remaining unpaid. Susan was worried because Margaret told her about selling her things, but she couldn't recall what she had done with the money. Her fridge was empty, so were the cupboards. Susan began to think Margaret's memory was as poor as her physical frailty. Perhaps she was now unable to care for herself. Perhaps she could now be easily manipulated by strangers.